Let's talk about Day Shift, Netflix's new vampire show starring people like Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, Megan Good, and the slightly less cancelled Franco brother, Dave. It's quite amusing for a YouTube video called Honest Review that I've got to say this at the beginning, but there will be spoilers ahead, and I'm going to say it again because we get a lot of comments saying, oh my god, you spoiled this for me, bro. This is my honest review, and there will be spoilers from here on out. You have been warned. And just before I jump in, I just want to say thanks to our sponsor, NordVPN. Only joking. Let's get into Day Shift, shall we? The film starts with a jazzy little remix of California Love by Tupac. Nice touch. I'm invested. We see Jamie Foxx driving across California and having to clean a pool that has beer cans, bikinis, and a possum in it. I think that's a possum. Don't really know. We don't have them where I live. If you're like everyone else here and thinking, hang on, why on earth is Jamie Foxx everywhere again? Well, it's simple. He's got a deal with Sony, who in turn have a deal with Netflix, so expect him to show up quite a lot at the moment. His pool cleaning techniques seem a little bit questionable, especially when he dons his balaclava, arms himself to the teeth, and breaks into a house only to shotgun a poor little old lady across her own bedroom. Alright Jamie, you've got me. I'm fucking double invested now. Bud, as he's known in this film, presents himself as a pool cleaner. Secretly though, he's only posing as that because his real love and talents lie in slaying the blood-sucking undead that walk among us. Lucky then that the old lady that he just nearly blew in half turns out not to be everyone's favourite grandma and is actually Nosferatu, posing as a gentle, lovable old lady. Turns out she regenerates too and is actually a bit of an acrobat. Touche to the directors here for bringing in Cirque du Soleil performers to add some level of intricacy and performance here, because it does really pay off. Now those with eagle eyes and a level of abstract knowledge that can only be described as virginal, I might have made that word up by the way, might have noticed that in the fight scene with Nosferatu that her reflection isn't present in the mirror. However, in modern day that wouldn't be the case. The reason vampires have no reflection is because back in the olden days mirrors were backed with silver. Silver being considered a pure metal would burn their reflections. However, in modern society mirrors are no longer made like this, mainly for cost reasons, and so today's mirrors would show the vampire reflection as the silver isn't present. Eat shit, incorrectness. Anyway, the reflection not being present did look quite cool, especially when he yeets her into the mirror and you see no reflection coming at it, only for her full body to be seen bouncing off and hitting the deck like the sack of shit she is. And the way he just repeatedly smashes her into walls, showing her bones being crushed before he finally decapitates her, is pretty solid from the outset. To add to it, he's booby-trapped the house so her little mate decapitates himself just trying to jump Bud. The start is really decent here. It throws you right into the vampires and the action scenes, but it brings you straight back out with the humorous side to the film as he has to wear the old lady's clothes to leave because he's covered in all the blood and ink-looking vomit that she threw up on him during the fight. It turns out though that a realtor, the lady that's building loads of houses in this town, is an evil vampire lady herself, and we see her needlessly burying some poor geezer after torturing him in the sunlight for a bit. We never actually find out why she's torturing him, but she is, and they're just trying to set up that she's evil. Bud trades the teeth in of Nosferatu that he captured earlier, and he trades them in for some weapons and his Jordans for some cash. This is beginning to feel a little bit like Blade at this point. And wait, he's texting a guy called Big J and asking for help. It's gonna be his fucking Whistler, isn't it? Tell me there's not a Whistler in this film. I fucking hate Whistler. Turns out though, evil realtor lady is fuming when she finds out Nosferatu's dead and cries a tear of blood. Not sure why, but she does. And her little sidekick man sniffs a bit of glass and somehow knows that only one man did the job. The realtor lady, Audrey as she's known, licks the glass, and I'm not gonna lie, her eyes glowing red at this point really just drew me out of liking this film so far to think, oh please don't start this tacky shite. It's cemented, like the guy earlier, banter, when she waves her hand over some flowers and they all die. Ugh, please don't carry on like this. It's okay though, because Snoop rocks up in his country garb, smoking a doob and hotboxing his vehicle that he sat in. They go see some man who seems to own some secret call centre and rocks this terrible ginger mullet. Turns out though it's some kind of vampire arse kicking club that Bud had his membership revoked from because he smashed the city up before and violated Harry's code. No, wait, that's Dexter. It was some other code that's relevant here and also not really explained. Franco at this point rocks up and he's some nerdy admin called Seth. Of course, we're getting a good cop, bad cop pairing here with him and Bud, and the joke becomes the super nerdy but totally lost in the real world Seth and battle-hardened Bud trying to make this pairing work. This to me felt a little bit lazy. It's pretty much Men in Black with Slappy Smith and Tommy Lee Jones all over again. Just swap the weird bug guy for the real estate agent who wears vibrant suits suits, and here we are. The film starts strong though, I must admit, but soon felt a bit like taking a load of other films and just throwing them in a blender and shoving whatever smoothie comes out onto Netflix. We've got elements of Blade already, Men in Black, it feels a bit 21 Jump Street, Training Day, Bright, and likely a load of others that I didn't clock jammed together. It is enjoyable so far, but it does feel a little bit like I'm being taken for a prick. I don't want to see a repackaged version of films I already like. It's like what Disney has been doing with all of those remakes. Are they good? Yes, they are. Do they compare to the originals? No, not really. If I hadn't have seen all of those other movies, then I probably wouldn't get this feeling, but I have, so I do. And it makes me feel like the film industry is just being lazy and thinks viewers are idiots. Anyway, let's carry on and see what happens before I judge it purely on the first half an hour of this film, because now we've got a gang of lesbian vampire killers helping Bud in his endless pursuit of collecting ears, no wait, that's Diablo, teeth of those he's vanquished. Turns out the vampire realtor, estate agent, land developer lady has leafleted his house. Guess where this film's going? Yep, not even those loud shirts can make this plot more colourful by this point. Let's talk about the car chase for a moment. So you're telling me the way to parent correctly is to slap some Mario Kart ripoff on your iPad and some Beats by Dre headphones on your child, and that child will not see or feel anything that happens outside of your car, which includes reenacting Tokyo Drift around a Walmart car park, running red lights, flying off the side of mountains, and basically being Fast and the Furious with more teeth and less Vin Diesel. Cool. The director also directs Fast and Furious movies. That could be why. I'll be honest here though, especially as this is an honest review, if I called my wife up and said, sorry, your life and our kids' lives are in danger, I'll call you later, she'd probably hunt me down on one of those motorbikes herself and take my head clean off. This guy does that and then says to the kid, don't tell your mother. Mate, she already knows and she's gonna fuck you up. Trust me. Never mind though, they're just waiting in the house for him to get home anyway, rendering that whole chase a bit pointless, eh? Ugh. So now the family are taken, which I assume means Jamie's now going to become Liam Neeson, but in the meantime Seth has been turned into a vampire and gets his head cut off. Somehow now though, decapitation does not equal death, and he's able to just hold his head on until it repairs itself. Seth's able to also contain himself and still want to be a good partner even though he's a vampire. I kind of feel like we've changed what these vampires can and can't do just because it was easier than writing a coherent plot by this point. I feel like I'm being overly critical, so let me wind it in for a second. I can only reiterate at this point that this film is actually okay. The fight scenes come up regularly, they're chaotic and they're visually stunning. The whole film is actually really well put together and the score throughout is amazing as well. The thing though that it lacks is its own story and its own plot to keep it overtly interesting. Things just happen, and you've 100% seen those things happen in other movies before, except maybe Snoop Dogg with a minigun tearing through vampires. That's probably a first. By now I'm into the last 30 minutes of the film and Snoop shooty goes rogue and takes on the whole vamp army solo before running out of bullets. So naturally he does what anyone would do in this circumstance and puts his blue Cripper Chief over his face and just suicide bombs himself. We just see this blue light as he drops them like they're hot. Sometimes I write this shit for myself. I think we've even seen this before too, right? In Blade 2, in the sewers where they blow all of them up with a blue light. Yeah. Of course we have. And so the film begins to conclude in the leftover set from Mummy 2, and Foxy Boy tries to save his family while fighting the realtor who's wearing yet another loud suit and some heel combo. But it's okay, she kicks off the heel so her feet are going to be alright. Weird sniffy right hand vamp guy gets his arms pulled off and seemingly that kills him, while Super Suit Woman goes totally badass. She batters Bud and tells him while she's about to bite his neck that in the end the devil comes for everyone. Oh yeah. She gets nanked right through the chest by the wife, but she just smacks the shit out of her before catching a silver bullet between her teeth. Okay, I fancy her. Finally, she gets scuppered though by the old razor wire trick that we saw early in the film. What I couldn't understand though is why does she die from that when we saw Seth survive that decapitation? There's just a total lack of consistency here. Seth and Bud walk out, destruction everywhere, they school Mullet Man on the code violations before deciding to go freelance. Take that, corporate vamp America. And Snoop even survives. I imagine either weed stops you becoming a vampire or he just crip walk the fuck out of there. If you know the answer to that one, let me know in the comments below. But overall, irrespective of the lazy writing, the fact that most of this shit's just been done before in loads of other films, or the fact that there isn't much of a coherent story and lots of plot holes, it's actually quite a good film. Visually, it's stunning, the score's great, and it's quite an enjoyable film. The action scenes on themselves, especially seeing as the Cirque du Soleil performers were involved, are theatrical, well put together, and it's action-packed enough that when the action is happening, it keeps you invested. So overall, my honest review, I'd probably give this about a 6 out of 10, 7 at a push, but let me know in the comments below because I genuinely would like to hear your thoughts. And in the meantime, please do give us a like and subscribe because it helps us out with the algorithm and the inevitable growth of this channel. Thanks in advance for those that do that because it really does help us out and means a lot. But in the meantime, I've been Stuart with Unleash the Ghouls. Have a good evening. Oh, is that even needed? I don't know. How the fuck do you end an episode of this shit?